they own it, they can do with it what they wish, you know, obviously.
Affordable
Mr.
housing,
Villanova,
affordable housing.
Deputy Supervisor, do you know,
They've identified it as a
It's
piece of
just,
property.
it's all the properties that Frederick B. Clark, one of their associates there, I think they're gonna hire to look at to see what.
Right, gotcha, see.
is that, Mr. Deputy Supervisor, the Rybrook letter mentioned that part of the plot is owned by the village of Rybrook and part by the town of Rye. Do you know, does anyone know what the proportions are between ourselves and
Two-thirds, one-third.
who owns more?
We're two-thirds.
They just don't put it on their list.
Well, you see, therein lies, that's a unique quality of this document, Councilman Gelfarb, is that what I would have done is broken the property up. Say that, okay, well, this Ellendale area is owned by the village of Rybrook, and the William Street is owned by the town of Rye. Don't commingle the property to make it look better.
Well, I think we've met, Mr. Nowotnik and I have met with Mayor Feinstein and Mr. Bradbury on a couple of occasions. I think we reported back to the board, if I apologize if I haven't, but basically they would like to contribute Elm Hill Park to the town of Rye in exchange for our two-thirds of interest in the West William Street property. Now, the question is, what's the relative price of the two properties? I think on the assessed value, I think we're about $600,000 to the good, more or less. I can't remember. And they felt that would be too much to pay. And the question is how much. And I think they haven't come back. So we need to. It's a discussion. And obviously, the ultimate number has to be a number that's fair to the constituents of the town of Rye, fair to the constituents of the village of Rybrook, and obviously this board will approve any agreement that ultimately gets done. So I thank you for bringing up the fact that it's also part of the affordable housing, so it may give them more incentive to try and do something. And we'll see where we end up. I know we're all committed to.
Well, has there ever been have they ever made a written proposal to us to, in essence, swap these two properties?
No, they have not. We've had a discussion, and but where they threw out some numbers, and we both knew that those numbers would be unacceptable to this board, and we both knew. Again, it all depends on your rationale, right? So we haven't had a serious discussion, if you will. That we know that there is going to be some monies needing to come to the town of Rye, and the question is really how much.
Have they raised at all have they broached that subject at all at any of their public meetings?
I imagine they have, right?
Yes. They've discussed that document at...
Well, no, I mean the proposed land swap.
They would not have, they have not, they wouldn't have had, in other words, they might have, broadly speaking, spoken the same way we have, but they wouldn't have authorized a number. But actually, that's a good question and a good point. I mean, maybe, we have a number of issues outstanding with the village of Rybrook. Did we ever name a liaison to the village of Rybrook?
Maybe 3 years ago, and we forgot about it.
Exactly. That's brutally on us for local government. Would you like to be the liaison, Mr. Gelfarb?
I'd be happy if there's something to liaise about.
No, I think this is perfect. This is exactly the kind of issue that I'd love to get you involved in with your legal background and negotiating skills and hard-nosed approach. Rather than me take the heat. No, I'm joking. But I think there actually are these issues, and the issues like, for example, the Crawford Park, where they charge Rybrook, and since you also live in Rybrook, but they charge Rybrook villagers for a service, and then
we give it away free.
Yeah, right. So I think there's a whole host of issues, and the village of Rybrook, Mayor Feinstein is a great contributor to the Rye Town Park Board. We've always had very cordial, very positive relations with them, and so there are, however, a host of issues, and so I think that there will be something very clearly for you. to look at.
Lastly, I didn't want to overlook, you made a reference to the number $600,000.
I can't, Brett, don't.
No, I don't want to pin down any number, but are you talking about assessed values of entities, of properties owned
Yeah,
by
I think
governments?
if I'm not, broadly speaking,
They're owned
the
by
assessed
government.
value of the garage is $2 million, so we're one half of that, 2/3 of that, so what's that, 1.4? I think I can't remember what Elm Hill Park is valued at some other number. Off the top of my head, I'm saying 600.
No, it's fine. Since Mr. Markowitz is here, how do these appraisals exist, given that these are plots owned by governments?
Even
Yeah, you still value.
property owned by governments must have an assessment
Okay.
value, even if they're tax exempt. Every property owned by any government has a value on it, even though it may not.
And is that value based? I mean, what is it based on? Since you're never going to.
Based upon market value.
Okay, that leads me to.
There is a market for parkland. Apparently, I had a conversation with one of the appraisers about it because I was real curious.
You can't sell it.
Apparently, over time, there have been certain parcels of parkland that have exchanged.
Well, that allows me to segue into another thing which we did cover tonight. Since as you say, everything has been assessed, what's the assessment of this building?
Don't know off the top of my head. I believe it's somewhere in the neighborhood of $1.1 million, $1.2 million.
Oh, well, now we've answered part one of our tripartite RFP. Okay.
It's obviously worth much more than that
I don't know.
today.
I just
Not
want
if
to,
we do it every
I just
year.
want to follow up with Councilman Gelfarb, and I agree. I don't think we have a better person that could be a representative of the town of Rye with speaking with the Village of Rye Brook. Dave has a clear head, an excellent knowledge of property, and he's not going to give away the farm. And Dave, just take the opportunity to go through this document. Ultimately, Elm Hill Park states here that the deed restricts use to recreation. So ultimately, the value of the property is limited, whereas 511 West William Street is within the 7C, and it's a 60-unit limit zone. So, I think if there's going to be anything that has to do with the land that the town of Rye owns, we're going to. I'm confident that Dave Gelfarb and this board, if there's anything that's going to happen, we're going to make sure that we get the highest dollar value to make sure it has the greatest positive impact for all the residents of the town of Rye. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Supervisor Lanova. Look, I just want to wish everybody a happy New Year, happy 2011. I hope everybody had a nice holiday season. This will be our 4th year in office. I want to congratulate the board for all the hard work and the town staff for all the hard work they've done over the last 3 years. We have some ambitious plans for this year, and I want to wish the townspeople every success, and hopefully we can continue to maintain your confidence and execute on our plans to eventually get to a zero town tax, and at the same time upgrade the quality of our infrastructure. So, can I get a motion to close?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Gelfarb?
Aye.
Mendocino?
Aye.
Nyors?
Aye.
Villanova?
Yes.
Corbett?
Yes.
If you have not picked up your mail, please put your mail.